Curly braces in JSX. So welcome everyone. Today we're diving into a interesting aspect of React JSX or JavaScript XML, but specifically the curly brace portion. So just for a recap, JSX allows us to write HTML-like code within our JavaScript files. Therefore, it seamlessly integrates UI templates with React's powerful rendering capabilities. Importance of curly braces in JSX. So it's an essential feature of JSX because these braces aren't just ordinary characters. They are your gateway to incorporating dynamic JavaScript within your static JSX markup. Whether it's a variable, a function, or an entire JavaScript object, curly braces make it all accessible right within your JSX. So if you take a look at this example, we have const names variable, and in this uh, element, we have this h1 hello, and we can just embed this names within JavaScript, JSX. Passing strings in JSX. So let's start simple in JSX. When you want to assign a string to an attribute, what we mean by attribute is like uh, src or alt in an image tag. You typically wrap the value in quotes. This is straightforward for static content. For example, specifying a static image source or a fixed alt text. Uh, it's the JSX equivalent of setting attribute values in plain HTML. Dynamic attributes with curly braces, but so what if, unlike this previous example we saw, our content isn't static? What if we want our image source or alt text to change based on user actions or other dynamic condition? This is where curly braces come in. By replacing quotes with curly braces, we can tell JSX to evaluate the content of JavaScript, allowing us to insert dynamic values directly into our JSX attributes. Embedding JavaScript variables. So curly braces allow us to embed JavaScript variables directly into our JSX. This is really powerful. Here's an example. Imagine imagine a scenario where you want to display a user's name, and this user's name, uh, let's maybe fetched from a database and then is within your components UI. So by wrapping a variable name in curly braces, JSX can evaluate it and renders its value as part of the component output. So it is very simple, but also a profound way to make our UIs dynamic and responsive. Calling functions in JSX. So we've looked at rendering variables. It is possible to call functions in JSX. Um, say you want to format a date or filter a list or perform a calculation. You can do everything within the JSX markup. Just you need to call your function within curly braces, and JSX will execute it and render the result. So this seamless integration of JavaScript functions into uh, JSX is what gives React flexibility and power. So just look at this example. Today is we can just within JSX markup call format date and instantiate new date. Or if you look at this another example, we can have we can in this element we can call get greeting function and then pass a user object, and we can see that in user object contains first name, last name, and get greeting will receive that object and print out a string accordingly. Using JavaScript objects in JSX. So JavaScript objects in JSX are mostly commonly used for dynamic styling or passing complex properties to components. So when we want to apply inline styles, we use an object wrapped in curly braces. But since we are inside JSX, we need to wrap that object in another set of curly braces. As you can see here, like div style, and that there will be two curly braces. So it might look a bit unusual at first with double curly braces, but it's a powerful feature that gives us fine grain control over our component styling. And here's another example. This is when you actually store style in JavaScript object, and then uh, in your div style, you can just call this style inside curly brace. Let's complex JavaScript object. So just wanted to show you a complex JavaScript example to how to show how React can take things a step further. So you can see that these object contains various properties and also nested object. Uh, so by having this, it allows us to structure our data and styles in a sophisticated yet manageable way. So when we reference these objects in JSX, we're not just passing values. We are uh, weaving our JavaScript logic and structures directly into our UI and making our components very dynamic and versatile. So you can see user profile, and in style we would call user profile.style, and uh, in our h1 tag we'll call user profile.name. Best practices and common pitfalls. So as with any powerful tool, there are best practices to follow and pitfalls to avoid with JSX and curly braces. It's important to remember the expression inside curly braces must be valid JavaScript. And don't forget to use camel case for JSX attributes. So you can see background color here. And this is really important because this is a way to differentiate with the HTML syntax. And also another thing you want to remember is you might be tempted to put complex logic inside curly braces, but try to think about clarity and maintainability, because uh, in order to maintain clarity, it's important to kind of extract the complex logic inside curly braces into a function or component. This way it is cleaner and more readable. Recap and key takeaways to wrap up. Curly braces in JSX are not just a syntax requirement. They are a bridge between JavaScript and JSX, bringing the full power of JavaScript into our React components. From simple variables to complex objects and functions, curly braces allow us to build dynamic, interactive, and responsive UIs with ease. As you grow in your React journey, mastering the use of curly braces will definitely be a key part. Thank you all.